Welcome to YogurlKy. This yoga practice is a 40-minute short primary series. So this is a traditional Ashtanga Yoga sequence, but I'm going to be taking you through a shortened version. So it should take 40 minutes instead of an hour and a half like it normally takes, and I hope you enjoy it. I'll meet you on the mat. We're going to get started today in a standing position at the top of your mat, where we'll start by performing several Sun Salutation A and B. The first thing you do as you come to the top of your mat is start to engage your Ujjayi breath. You can do this by inhaling through the nose and exhaling also through the nose. We'll take a few breaths together in our mountain pose. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. One more breath. Nice and deep inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Start to set an intention for your practice today, or your why for coming to your mat. One last breath together. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Open your mouth. Audible exhale. Sun Salutation A. On your next inhale, sweep your arms up, palms press, gaze follows. As you exhale, fold forward and gaze towards your knees. Your knees can even bend. Inhale, hands to shins, gaze is forward, back is long. You're going to keep the gaze forward as you plant the hands, step or jump back, and take a half push-up chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, gaze up. Exhale, downward facing dog for the next 5 counts. If at any time you feel like you're getting out of breath or need a little break, child's pose is also a great option, which you can take by coming to the knees and resting your forehead on the mat. So whether you're in child's pose or a downward facing dog, we'll be here for about 3 more counts. Remember, wherever you are, to keep breathing. Good. Now everybody meets in a downward facing dog. You're going to inhale, push into your mat, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, bend your knees, gaze to the top of your mat. Now inhale, we're going to take a couple of steps to get to the top. Hands to shins, gaze is forward, back is long. And exhale, fold, look towards your knees. Now deep inhale, sweep your arms up, palms press, gaze follows. Exhale, back to Samasthiti or mountain pose. Deepen your inhale, arms up, palms press. Exhale, fold forward, look towards your knees. Good. Inhale up halfway, gaze forward. Keep the gaze forward as you plant the hands and step or jump back into half push-up chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, gaze up. Exhale, downward facing dog or child's pose. Once again, we're here for 5 breaths or 5 counts. If you're in your downward facing dog, your hands should be roughly shoulder width apart and your feet should be roughly hip width apart. The breath is even and rhythmic, and it sets the pace for your practice. Wherever you are, we're going to meet in the downward facing dog position. As you inhale, push into your mat. Exhale, bend your knees, gaze to the top of the mat. Now inhale, step or take a little hop. Hands come to your shins. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, fold. Look towards your knees. The knees can soften here. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up. Palms press. And exhale back to Samasthiti or mountain pose. This will be our last sun salutation A. Deepen your inhale. Arms up. Exhale, fold. Gaze towards your knees. Hands to shins. Inhale, gazes forward. Lengthen the spine. Keep the gaze forward as you plant the hands and step or jump back into Chaturanga. Good. Deep inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog or child's pose. We'll be here for 5. Allow your head to hang heavy. 4. 3. 2. If you are not in a downward facing dog, start to make your way back into that position. On your next inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, bend your knees, gaze to the top of your mat. Now inhale, step or hop to your halfway forward fold. And exhale, fold. Now vigorous inhale, sweep your arms up, palms press, gaze follows. Now open your mouth, exhale like a sigh, Samasthiti. We're now moving on to Sun Salutation B. Bend your knees, inhale to chair or Utkatasana. Exhale, fold forward. Hands to shins, inhale, come up halfway. Keep the gaze forward, step or jump back into Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now right away, your right foot shoots forward, left heel swivels down flat. Inhale, warrior 1. Now exhale, plant your hands, shoot your foot back, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right away, left foot shoots forward, right heel swivels flat. Inhale to warrior 1. Good. Exhale, plant your hands, move through Chaturanga. Now inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Or once again, you have an option to move into child's pose. The most important part of your yoga practice is your breathing. So whether or not you're in a child's pose or downward facing dog, the posture doesn't matter as much as your breath staying nice and rhythmic throughout your practice. Good. Everybody meet in a downward facing dog position. On your inhale, lengthen through the spine by pushing into your mat. Exhale, bend your knees, gaze forward. Inhale, step or hop to your halfway forward fold. And exhale, fold. Now bend the knees. Inhale up to chair or Utkatasana. And exhale, Samasthiti. One more just like that. Bend your knees. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up halfway, hands can come to shins. Keep the gaze forward and step or jump back, Chaturanga. Deep inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right away, right foot shoots forward. Inhale, warrior 1, energy through the fingertips. And exhale, Chaturanga. Very nice. Inhale, upward facing dog, gaze up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right away, left foot shoots forward, right heel's flat. Inhale, energy through your fingertips. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog or child's pose. We'll be here for 5 counts. Everybody meet in your downward facing dog position. On your inhale, lengthen tailbone to sky. Exhale, bend your knees, prepare. Inhale, step or hop to your half forward fold. And exhale, fold. Now bend your knees, sweep the arms up into chair, Utkatasana. And open your mouth, exhale like a sigh, Samasthiti. Now we're going to move on. So facing the top of your mat, you're going to step your feet hip width apart. You're going to inhale, lengthen the crown of your head up. And exhale, hinge at your hips. Peace fingers are going to wrap around the big toe. Or if you don't like that, you can simply grab your ankles. Your knees can bend as much as they need to comfortably reach your toes or your ankle. You're going to inhale, lengthen through the spine, gaze forward, and exhale, fold forward. We'll be here for 5 counts. If at any time you need a break, you can take this exact same posture in a seated position. Try to relax the shoulders, release any of the wrinkles in the back of your neck. You should be feeling a nice lengthening through the back of the legs, whether or not your legs are straight, it doesn't matter. On your next inhale, you're going to lengthen your gaze forward and exhale, hands to hips, stay where you are. Now inhale, stand all the way up and exhale, step the feet back together. We're at the top of the mat in Samasthiti. Now you're going to inhale, step your right foot back, arms in a T, feet are parallel. Then you're going to swivel your right toes to face the back of your mat. You're going to reach out as far as you can before planting the right hand on the shin and reaching the left arm up to the sky and into Triconasana or triangle. We'll be here for 5 counts. If you'd like to move deeper, you can continue to slide the right hand down towards the foot or even the mat. Or for more traditional Ashtanga Yoga, you'll take the peace fingers around the big toe. Make sure your breath is still present. Good. Now, you're going to soften the right knee slightly. Inhale, back up, arms in a T, feet are parallel. Swivel the left toes to face the front of your mat. You're going to exhale, reach out as far as you can. Plant the left hand on the shin and the right arm peels up to the sky. We're in Triconasana on the left side for 5 counts. Again, if you'd like to take it deeper, slide the hand down towards the top of the foot, your mat, or even you can take peace fingers around the big toe. We're here for 5. Good. Now, you're going to slightly soften the left knee. Inhale, stand back up, arms in a T, feet are parallel. And as you exhale, step back to the top of your mat, Samasthiti. And once again, as you inhale, step the right foot back, but this time I want your stance to be a little bit wider than before. Inhale, right toes face the back of your mat. As you exhale, take your right elbow to your bent right knee and peel the left arm up to the sky. This is Parsvakonasana or right angle pose. If you're already feeling a stretch here, great. If you'd like to take this posture a little bit deeper, you can take the right hand down to a yoga block or down to the ground. If you transition into the deeper variation, you're going to also extend the left fingertips. So you're creating a nice straight line from the tips of your fingers all the way down to your heel. Make sure wherever you are, you're still able to breathe. If you get into a posture and you're having a hard time breathing, it might mean that you've gone too far, and you can just simply back out of the posture a little bit. Good. Everybody look down at your right big toe. Now inhale, stand up, arms in a T, feet are parallel, and we're going to take the same posture on the left side. So left toes face the front of the mat. As you exhale, bend the knee, take the left elbow to left knee, and right arm peels up to the sky. Once again, we're here for 5 breaths. If you choose to take it deeper, the left hand will slide down either to a yoga block. You can even use a large book, or you can take the hand or fingertips down to the mat. If you do so, the right fingertips reach slightly forward, creating a nice long line from fingertip to heel. Make sure your breath is still present. I'll keep reminding you, I promise. We'll take one more breath here. As you exhale, look down at your left big toe. Inhale, arms come up into a T, feet are parallel. Exhale, step to the top of your mat, Samasthiti. Let's take one breath together without movement. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open your mouth, exhale. Good. We're going to move on to some standing balancing postures, and I'm going to face you just so you can see how to get started. So we're going to start by placing the left foot down and placing your left hand on your hip. If you ever feel like you're unsteady during a balance posture, that hand on the hip is going to remind your core to stay engaged. So if you ever get wobbly, inhale and engage the core, and that will help stabilize you. So modified, you're going to bring your right knee up into your right hand. And if you're feeling a little more brave and want to try a more advanced version, you can take peace fingers around your big toe and extend the leg forward as well. So we're going to stay here. I'm just going to transition so I'm facing the top of my mat, but we're here for 5 more breaths. Good. It also helps in balancing postures to find something in front of you that's not moving, like a little speck of dirt on the ground, something to focus on. And again, if you get wobbly, inhale and engage the core, and that should help stabilize you. One more breath here. Deep inhale, crown of the head lifts, and exhale, gently release, and maybe roll out the ankles, give yourself a little break, and we'll move on to the other side. Plant the right foot down, and you're going to be balancing on that right leg. So make sure every part of your foot is firmly grounded into your mat. Right hand comes to your right hip to remind that core to stay engaged. And once again, left knee comes up into the hand. Or if you're feeling wild and crazy, you can take peace fingers around the big toe and extend the leg. So, fun fact, extend does not mean straight. It means to make longer. So, even if you can't straighten your leg, you can still hold it out there. And as you consistently practice yoga, you'll find that you can straighten out the leg, find more extension. Good, just 3 more breaths here. If you get wobbly, once again, squeeze that right hip and engage the core. Just 1 more breath here. As you inhale, lift the crown of the head up. As you exhale, gently release. And feel free to roll out your ankles. Give yourself a little break. Now from here, we're going to move on. So bend your knees. Inhale to Utkatasana or chair. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come up halfway, lengthen through the spine. Keep your gaze forward as you move into Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right away, right foot shoots forward. And you're going to inhale to warrior 1. We're going to stay here for about 3 breaths. So try to keep the hips and the shoulders squared off to the top of your mat. Fingertips reaching tall. Legs feel strong. You'll start to get a little warmer here, but don't worry. We're about to go down to our mats after this. Good. As you inhale, straighten both legs, and you're simply just going to swivel the feet so that you're in the same posture on the left side. So once you're nice and settled, bend into that left knee. Hips and shoulders are trying to square off to the top of your mat. And we're here for 3, 2, and 1. Straighten the legs. Stay on the left side. We're going to just open up into warrior 2 for just 3 counts. Lots of energy for 3, 2. Good. Straighten the legs, and once again, swivel the feet. Move into the exact same posture, warrior 2, but on the right side. Good. For 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, windmill, both hands down to the mat. Shoot the foot back. Take your half push-up, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. From here, we're going to make our way into a seated position. So you can simply come to your knees and then cross the ankles and sit down. Or if you'd like to try a slightly more advanced option, you're going to jump, cross your ankles, and take a seat. Extend the legs out in front of you. So however you get there is just fine. We're going to start with Dandasana. The legs are extended out in front of you. The hands are comfortably on either side of your hips. You're lifting through the crown of your head. Shoulder blades are squeezing. And the legs are engaged. So this might not seem like a very active posture, but there's actually a lot of engagement going on through the core, the spine, the legs are strong. We're here for 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, look towards your toes, and you're going to exhale, reach forward. Peace fingers are going to reach for your big toes. If that does not happen today, that's totally fine. You can grab onto your pants or onto your ankles. And wherever you are, you're going to inhale, lengthen through the spine, and exhale, start to fold a little bit deeper. We'll be here for 5 counts. Something to remember about forward folds is I'm not really trying to get my nose to my knees, because then, as you can see, my spine really curves, and that's not really what we want. What I like to imagine is I'm trying to get my rib cage to just lie down on my thighs so I can maintain a nice long spine, a nice long neck with the shoulders away from the ears. And I'll stop talking now so you can enjoy this stretch. Good. Inhale, look forward. And exhale, release the hands. You're going to now bring the right foot and press your foot into your left inner thigh. As you do so, allow the right knee to drop down. The left foot is flexed. Inhale, reach tall. And exhale, fold forward. Once again, grab the calf, the ankle. If you can reach the foot, that's great. And wherever you are, inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold forward. We'll be here for a few more breaths. Focus especially on the exhales, where you can find a little bit deeper of a fold. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, release the posture and switch sides by extending the right leg forward. This time, take your left foot, press it into your right inner thigh. Allow the knee to drop down. Don't force it, just whatever happens, happens. Inhale, extend the arms tall. And exhale, fold forward, grabbing hold of whatever you can reach. Use one more inhale to lengthen through your spine and get nice and settled. And exhale, fold forward. We'll be here for 5 counts. In these seated postures, it's really easy for your mind to start to wander or for you to be distracted by everything going on outside of your mat. So remember, at the beginning of our practice, I encouraged you to set an intention for your practice. About right now in the practice is when that intention is really important, because when you get distracted, you can just simply bring your mind back to the intention you set. We're here for just one more breath. See if on that exhale you can find a little bit deeper position. Now inhale, gaze forward, lengthen. Exhale, release. Now you're going to cross your ankles, plant the hands in front of you, shoot the feet back, and take your half push-up chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And we're going to meet back in our seated position. So again, you can drop to the knees, or you can take a little hop, cross your ankles, and just meet in that seated position with the legs extended once again. This time, your right foot is going to come in, your heel is close to your glute, and you should be able to fit your hand between your foot and your thigh. That's just a measuring tool. Now, option 1, you'll sit nice and tall and smile because you're doing yoga. Option 2, you're going to try and keep your knee pointing up to the sky, and you're going to try to reach forward and grab hold of the ankle or maybe the foot. And option 3, you might go for a bind. So as you reach forward, you're going to, on an exhale, the right arm will come around the outside of your right leg. The left arm will come behind the back, and maybe the hands will find each other behind the back, and you'll be in a bind. We'll be here for 3 more counts. Good. Now on your next inhale, look forward. Exhale, release the hands and release the right leg forward. We'll revisit the same posture on the other side. So your left heel comes close to the glute. Once again, you can fit your hand between your foot and your thigh. That's just a measuring tool. Option 1, which is a really great option. You sit nice and tall, you hug your knee, and you smile because you're doing yoga. Option 2, you're going to try to keep that knee pointing up. As you exhale, you'll reach forward and try to grab onto your ankle or your foot. And now hopefully on this side, you'll be able to see the bind in action a little bit better. So you might go into the bind, which is option 3, by taking the left arm this time around the outside of your knee, the right arm behind your back, and you might find the bind. Wherever you are is just fine. We're all at different stages or levels of our practice, and it's never a comparison. It's always just accepting where you are at that time. Meet yourself on the mat. We're here for 3, 2, on your inhale, look forward. Exhale, release the hands and cross your ankles. You're going to plant your hands in front of you, shoot the feet back, and take Chaturanga, half push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Once again, you'll make your way back into a seated position. And this time, you're actually going to roll onto your back, and we'll work on some bridging postures. So you're going to plant your feet underneath your knees, and I like to extend my arms down, and if you're able to touch your heel with your middle finger, that's a pretty good indication that you're where you should be. So when you're ready, you're going to inhale, lift the hips, and press the palms down into the mat. We'll start with a nice and easy modified bridge today. We're here for just 3 breaths. Every part of your foot is pressing into the mat. Hands are pressing into the mat. Good. Gently come down 1 vertebrae at a time. I'll give you 1 more modification. So inhale, lift the hips. This time you're going to reach behind you and interlace the fingers. As you do so, scoot the shoulder blades closer together. You should be able to lift a little bit higher. We're here for 3, 2, and 1. Gently release 1 vertebrae at a time. And I'm going to give you an option for this very last bridge to go into a full wheel. You'll do so by planting the hands above the shoulders. And you'll start out by lifting the hips and then the shoulders. I'm not going to demonstrate this, but if you do go into full wheel, please be mindful of your spine. So I'm going to take one of the variations we already did. When you're ready, inhale, lift the hips. If you're moving into full wheel, you'll press through the hands and lift the shoulders and maybe the head off the mat as well, while being mindful of your spine. We're here for 3, 2, wherever you are, lift a little higher, and gently release 1 vertebrae at a time. Hug your knees into your chest. Maybe gently rock from side to side. Now we're going to rock up and down the spine. Should feel like a little massage. And eventually, you'll rock all the way up into a seated position with legs extended. And you'll exhale back into your forward fold that we did earlier. Again, if you can't reach the feet, grab hold of whatever you can reach of. And we'll release that spine through this counter posture. We're here for 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, release the posture, cross your ankles, plant the hands in front of you, shoot the feet back. Half push-up, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, child's pose. So I like to take my knees wide, hips move back, rest your forehead on the mat. Now from here, you can stay in child's pose, which is a really great option, but I'm also going to give you the option to move through headstand. I'm going to talk through some progressions, and if headstand doesn't seem like a great idea for you today, that's okay, because there is a progression for you that you can work on. If you still don't want to work on headstand progressions, you can simply stay in your child's pose for the next 10 or so breaths while we're moving through headstand. So for those of you wanting to try out headstand or at least move through some progressions, you're going to be in a kneeling position and drop your elbows to the mat, and you're going to grab onto your elbows. The purpose for this is a measuring tool. If your elbows get wider than this, which is your shoulder width, then you'll have a really hard time balancing in your headstand. So this is your measuring tool. You're going to interlace your fingers, creating a nice bowl, and then you'll place the crown of your head into the bowl, and the top of your head will place down on the mat. You're going to curl the toes under and inhale, lift up into Dolphin. So Dolphin, you might notice, looks a little bit like downward facing dog, but I'm on my elbows. So this right here is a great progression for headstand. You might stay here for the next 5 breaths. If you'd like to continue to work your way into headstand, tiptoe your toes closer to your face. So my hips are traveling until they're directly over my shoulders. And from there, you might bring your knees up into your chest and balance. You might extend one leg up, or you might just slowly work your way up into headstand. Wherever you are, we're there for 3 more counts. If you're in headstand, make your way back into a child's pose. In fact, we're all going to meet in a child's pose. Allow yourself to take your next 2 or 3 exhales out of your mouth. Just allow yourself to melt. And when you're ready, we'll move through our last vinyasa of the day. Plant the hands, curl the toes under, move into a high plank. And exhale, chaturanga, half push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. From here, make your way into a comfortable seated position at the top of your mat. You can just be in a cross-legged position, or you can come into half lotus or full lotus, whatever feels best for you. Sit up nice and tall, take the eyes closed, and we're just going to take a few breaths together before ending our practice today. Join in breathing when you're ready. Inhale for 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Deepen your breath. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Your deepest breath today. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Open your mouth. Exhale. Hands come to heart center. Now, one last posture before we go. Draw the corners of your mouth up. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste.